The gallery is dim. 100 murmuring onlookers fall silent as you step forward. There, behind bulletproof glass, she regards you quietly, her hands folded, her head slightly turned. She seems to breathe in the half-light. The Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's elusive masterpiece, watches with a gaze that feels alive. Centuries melt away. It is as if a real soul lingers on this wooden panel, suspended in oil and varnish. You lean in closer, drawn by her eyes and that faint smile, and suddenly you wonder, what secret is she keeping? Over 500 years old, Mona Lisa has become the icon of the Renaissance, considered an archetypical masterpiece of that era. In today's video, we'll uncover the hidden genius and emotional mystery behind Leonardo's Mona Lisa. Why does this painting define the Renaissance? What Renaissance ideals are captured in her image? We'll explore how Leonardo fused art and science to infuse Mona Lisa with a humanist spirit, lifelike depth, and psychological complexity. Stay with us until the end. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button. Thank you. A woman sits against an imaginary landscape, half-length and facing us. This might seem normal today, but in 1503, it was revolutionary. Before Leonardo, portraits of women were typically stiff profile busts, formal, detached, little more than living icons. Leonardo changed all that. He turned Lisa Gherardini, the sitter, toward the viewer, shoulders at a 3/4 angle, and included her hands gracefully folded at the bottom of the frame. This new composition created a natural, intimate connection. Suddenly, you feel you could have a conversation with her. The portrait is no longer just a status symbol. It's a personality, an individual presence. This human-centered focus reflects the core of Renaissance humanism, the era's celebration of individual dignity and inner life. Leonardo's contemporaries immediately recognized something extraordinary. The Mona Lisa revolutionized contemporary portrait painting. The 3/4 pose became the new standard, imitated by artists like Raphael for the next 400 years. No longer were portraits flat profiles of aristocrats. They became living characters. A merchant's wife could be painted with the same poise and depth as a noble queen. Mona Lisa embodied the Renaissance belief that every human being, not just saints or kings, is worthy of art and study. In her, the spirit of humanism found its image. Look closely at her face. The light glides softly over her forehead, nose, and cheeks, dissolving into gentle shadows. There are no harsh outlines. Leonardo employed a radical technique he called sfumato, meaning smoky, a fine haze that blurs edges and allows forms to emerge naturally from darkness. Mona Lisa seems to glow from within. Her flesh looks soft, her features modeled with subtle gradations of tone. This was entirely new. Early Renaissance paintings often had sharp contours separating figure and background, looking beautiful, but flat. Leonardo's sfumato united Lisa with her surroundings in a lifelike atmosphere, giving the illusion that air and blood move under her skin. Giorgio Vasari, writing in the 1550s, marveled that in Mona Lisa, the eyes had that luster and moistness which are always seen in the living, and the nose and mouth appeared truly fresh, so much so that anyone who looked very carefully could see the pulse beating at her throat. In other words, Leonardo painted not a picture, but a presence. How did he achieve this uncanny realism? Leonardo was not just a painter, but a scientist of vision and anatomy. He famously wrote, "A good painter has two main objects to paint, man and the intention of his soul. The former is easy, the latter hard, because it must be conveyed through gesture and movement." Leonardo poured his genius into capturing not just Lisa's likeness, but the intention of her soul. To do that, he studied the human body with relentless curiosity. While perfecting the Mona Lisa's face, Leonardo spent his nights in morgues, dissecting human heads, peeling the flesh off cadavers to lay bare the muscles and nerves underneath. He sketched every muscle that lifts a lip or crinkles an eye. He knew that the soul's emotions play out in subtle facial movements. Mona Lisa's expression was engineered with a surgeon's precision and a poet's heart. As he painted, Leonardo even hired musicians and jesters to entertain Lisa Gherardini, keeping her mood gentle and joyful so that her expression would stay softly animated. According to Vasari, the result was a smile so pleasing that it was a thing more divine than human to behold, something marvelous in that it was not other than alive. Leonardo believed painting was a supreme art of the mind. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen, he mused. In Mona Lisa, he created a visual poetry of the human soul. Her face engages our empathy and imagination. Look at her, and you don't just see a woman's face, you feel her presence. This was the Renaissance dream, that art, guided by science and observation, could capture the inner life, the very essence of a person. Behind Mona Lisa unfolds a vast, otherworldly landscape. At first, you might not even notice it. Her face holds your attention so much. But there she sits, before a panorama of winding roads, distant mountains, and water fading into a bluish haze. Crucially, this landscape does not actually exist in reality. It is a product of Leonardo's imagination, yet it feels uncannily real. As you follow the rivers and valleys, they grow indistinct in the distance. Leonardo pioneered atmospheric perspective, aerial perspective here, rendering far-off mountains in bluish, blurred tones to mimic the way atmosphere scatters light. For the first time in painting, the background isn't just a backdrop, it's a breathing world with depth and space, fading into infinity. This was another innovation of the Renaissance, understanding how vision works and using mathematical perspective and shading to create a 3D illusion on a 2D panel. There's a hidden harmony tying Lisa to her backdrop. The curves of her hair and the drapery of her dark robe echo the winding curves of the rivers and paths behind her. The undulating mountains resonate with the gentle slope of her shoulders. Leonardo, a lover of nature, believed in the connectedness of all things. Here he subtly links human and nature, suggesting that we are part of the landscape and it is part of us. This reflects a Renaissance idea that humans, microcosm, mirror the larger cosmos, macrocosm. Mona Lisa sits serenely amid a wild, uninhabited scene, perhaps symbolizing the human intellect calmly rising above the chaos of nature, or the unity of Lisa's soul with the natural world. Leonardo even employed a sly optical trick in this landscape. Art historians have noted that the horizon line on the left side of the painting sits slightly lower than on the right. It's so subtle you can barely see it, but your brain does. We instinctively expect horizons to align. When they don't, our mind struggles and corrects the discrepancy. As a result, Mona Lisa's posture appears to shift. One moment her shoulders seem level, the next they appear angled. This tiny skew creates an illusion of movement. It's as if out of the corner of your eye, you caught her shuffling in her seat. Combined with the soft sfumato focus, it means wherever you stand, she always seems just about to move or speak. The painting itself lives, fixed yet changing as you observe it. And then, of course, there is the smile. That flicker at the corner of her mouth has mesmerized viewers for centuries. Is she smiling or not? The answer seems to change each time you look. Stand directly in front of her and meet her gaze. Her lips rest in a subtle line, perhaps a hint of a smirk. But look away for a moment. Let your eyes wander to her forehead or the background and notice something in your peripheral vision. Her mouth seems to warm into a fuller smile. Look back, and it disappears again. This phenomenon has a scientific explanation. In 2000, Harvard neuroscientist Dr. Margaret Livingstone studied the Mona Lisa's elusive smile and found that it is more apparent to our peripheral vision than to our direct gaze. Leonardo, with his deep knowledge of optics, painted the corners of her mouth with blurred edges and soft shadows. When you look into her eyes, Your less detailed peripheral sight catches those shadows as a gentle grin. But when you stare straight at her mouth, your sharp central vision sees the fine details, and the ambiguity returns. Thus, the smile flickers in and out as your eye moves. It's a masterful play of human vision. Leonardo engineered an illusion that makes her face appear dynamic, alive with shifting emotion, just as a real human face would. The emotional effect of this is profound. Viewers have described feeling that Mona Lisa is knowingly watching them, that she has a secret. The writer Walter Pater in 1873 famously wrote of her accumulating strange thoughts and exquisite passions, and looking as if the soul, with all its maladies, has passed into her face. To him, she was timeless, older than the rocks among which she sits, like the vampire who has been dead many times and learned the secrets of the grave. In other words, her smile carried the wisdom of ages, the mystery of life and death. Such poetic interpretations might sound fantastical, but they capture the feeling the painting evokes, that Mona Lisa is more than paint on wood. She is alive in a way art had never been alive before. What makes the Mona Lisa more than just a portrait? Why do we say this painting defines an entire era? It's because Mona Lisa is the Renaissance ideal encapsulated, the union of technical mastery and human insight, science and poetry, earthly realism, and divine mystery. The Renaissance, literally rebirth, was about the rebirth of knowledge and the elevation of man. In Mona Lisa's making, Leonardo exemplified the Renaissance man, artist, scientist, inventor, using every tool at his disposal to transcend the ordinary. The painting's novel qualities were unmatched: an enigmatic expression, a balanced, monumental composition, subtle modeling, and a new kind of atmospheric illusionism. It was a quiet revolution on a 30 by 21-inch panel. Compositionally, the painting is a perfect pyramid. Lisa's form creates a stable triangle at the center, hands and elbows forming the base, her head the apex. This geometric clarity gives the portrait a harmonious balance, reflecting the Renaissance pursuit of order and beauty based on classical ideals. Yet within that balanced design lives an eternal mystery: her smile, her unknown thoughts, reflecting the Renaissance curiosity about the unseen inner world. Leonardo's teacher once said that great art should be things that may be admired for their dignity and beauty for all time. By dressing Lisa in a simple, timeless gown rather than the flashy fashions of her day, Leonardo ensured her image would not become dated. She is outside of time, an ideal of womanhood and humanity, rather than a momentary likeness. When we stand before the Mona Lisa today, we are in the presence of the Renaissance worldview. Humanism, the importance of the individual's inner life. Check. We sense her psychology. Naturalism, studying nature, from atmospheric depth to anatomy to improve art. Check. We see lifelike depth and flesh. Scientific inquiry, using optics and physiology to create new artistic effects. Check. Her smile is a product of optical science as much as painterly skill. Balance and perspective, a composition both stable and deep, with mathematical perspective and proportional harmony. Check. The painting is a masterclass in perspective and compositional balance. And above all, the soul. Renaissance thinkers sought the soul's expression, the divine spark in the material world. Leonardo managed to imbue a painting with a spirit, as if capturing not only Lisa Gherardini's appearance, but her mind and feelings. In Mona Lisa, paint and pigment were transformed into a mirror of the human soul. Little wonder that this portrait, once a private commission for a Florentine merchant, is now the most famous painting on earth. After Leonardo's death, the Mona Lisa was acquired by the King of France and later enshrined in the Louvre Museum. Over the centuries, she has become a cultural icon, an object of pilgrimage for millions. She has been stolen, hidden, celebrated in songs, and satirized in pop art. Yet the reason Mona Lisa endures isn't just fame or myth. It's the experience one has when meeting her gaze. As Vasari said, art can imitate nature so well, it makes the most bold artists tremble. In Mona Lisa, art not only imitated nature, it matched nature in complexity. The painting invites an emotional engagement like no portrait had before. For 500 years, viewers have felt seen by her, felt the stirrings of an emotional connection. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa defines the Renaissance because she embodies it. She is at once real and ideal, scientific and mysterious. Her gentle gaze reflects the Renaissance confidence in human potential, and her subtle smile hints at the era's newfound depths of inner life. Through Leonardo's genius, a simple painting became a living enigma, a mirror to the viewer's own soul and a testament to what art and intellect could achieve together. Standing before her, one feels the Renaissance promise that art can conquer time, that a face painted centuries ago can still speak directly to us. Her smile asks questions that have no simple answer, reminding us that there is always more to discover in art, in history, in ourselves. And so she remains, behind glass, but somehow limitless, the immortal soul of an age reborn. In her mysterious smile lives the spirit of the Renaissance, a quiet miracle that will continue to haunt and inspire long after we go.